All right, so now we'll get into the Milwaukee Bucks and Brooklyn Nets game. Milwaukee won this game 110-99. The Milwaukee Bucks are now 3-0 on the year, and the Brooklyn Nets are 1-3 as we get started. This was a game that Giannis completely took over and showed why he's considered the best player in the NBA. A lot of people are still arguing over who it is: LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and this game in particular could show a big reason why there's so many people that are fighting for Giannis as the best player, because the Brooklyn Nets just couldn't stop him. I don't think there's any team in the NBA that can stop him when he's going at that full head of steam. But hey, this was a battle between two different ways to play basketball. The Brooklyn Nets are more flashy and spontaneous. They have Kyrie Irving, they have Kevin Durant, these two talented guys that can make plays with their own skill set. They're great in the isolation game. And then you have the Milwaukee Bucks, who aren't as flashy at all, not as exciting as what the Brooklyn Nets do, but they're so effective. They're more effective than most teams in the NBA. If it's not Giannis Euro stepping his way through the lane to a great finger roll, there's just not a lot that's exciting about the way the Milwaukee Bucks play. But that's no slight. That just shows that they have, a great game overall. They play great defense together, and they're able to do a lot with what they do. This is kind of comparable to, I wouldn't say the Spurs, because the Spurs had, although they weren't flashy, they were flashy at passing the ball. I'm not sure what you can compare this to, the way they play the game, but you could just never count them out as they make their way forward into the games. They're always there in the middle of the battle. They're never down by too much. They're always coming at you, and you just can't seem to pull away from the Milwaukee Bucks, because that just shows how talented of a team they are. And they're still without Chris Middleton, who their second best player, who has been out since the playoffs last year after he hurt his knee. But Drew Holiday, Giannis Antetokounmpo, those guys are all still there, and it just showed of how deep this team is. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks are coming into this year were my number 2 team. Obviously, the Nets were number 6. The Nets, I think I was a little high on them too early, because this game it showed me they got a lot of kinks to work out on that offense and that defensive end for those guys. Ben Simmons coming back obviously had a back injury that's affecting a lot of what he does, because a back injury is no joke. No matter how you look at it, that controls everything that you do with your body. Ben Simmons coming back from that is a tough thing to come back from. So him getting into this offense and trying to acclimate himself into how this game is processed, there's just a lot more to work to do for them. And I think they're a little bit too high on my charts as I was coming into this season. Number 6 is too high. I think they're behind the Grizzlies now. I had the Warriors, the Celtics, the Clippers, the 76ers, and the Grizzlies in that top 7 list as well. And I don't think they're there just yet. I don't think they're there just yet, because Ben Simmons isn't shooting the ball as he hasn't throughout his entire career. He's not shooting the ball from outside. But what I liked out of him was he was setting screens and playing defense. Now, his defense isn't outstanding as it's been throughout his 76ers years, because either he's still getting back from that back injury, like I said, that causes a lot of things to go along with that. But he's setting screens, and because teams aren't playing him, outside at the 3-point line, it's causing for mismatches as Kyrie Irving is able to get around those screens. Kevin Durant is able to get around those screens and not necessarily have a defender in their face, because they're still far back in the paint, just waiting for Ben Simmons to cut to the lane and do something there. So they get this first step on most of their opponents, which is how their offense is working. They're still just like an isolation type of offense, along with that pick and roll that's helping them out, as their offense is flowing. And on the other end, you got, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is just dominating with the same style of play, but he is just so talented and so great at getting to the rim that it's a lot different for him, because he doesn't have to fall, he doesn't have to go to a jump shot. He doesn't have to go to a fadeaway if he doesn't necessarily want to. He can just get to the rim and lay it up or dunk it. Sometimes taking steps from the free throw line to get there. And that's working so well for Milwaukee, and that's going to work well as long as Giannis has that aggression and is able to do that. And to him to come out there in a big game like this and do that is necessarily everything they need at this time. The Nets have been a bad defensive team all year. All right, they've been a bad defensive team. Ben Simmons hasn't helped in that category just yet. They've been bad there. I think they're bottom 2 in most of the defensive categories as we start this season. So they actually looked a lot better tonight, I think. I think in this game they looked better than what they looked all season. Their effort was there. They had some quality rotations for most of the game. It's just Ben Simmons. It's just Giannis Antetokounmpo being so great, which is what stopped them there. Giannis called himself a role player, and that guy's nuts for saying that. Giannis is nowhere near a role player. He's the best player in the league to many people in the NBA. He had 9 points in that first half, and then kind of just turned it on throughout that third quarter. We had 17 in that third quarter and just blew him away. 43 points overall for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he had help from Jrue Holiday, as I said, who's one of the best defensive point guards that goes into the lineup of the Bucks playing great defense. He had 15 tonight, and they got help from Bobby Portis, who's just a fan favorite out there in Milwaukee. He had 20 points off the bench. It's an overall great game for them, as you know they get scoring from all around, mostly from Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's almost half of their points in this game, which is how dominant he is. Now, when they get Chris Middleton back to add him to this collection, this is going to be a scary team. I'm very confident in them being the number 2 team in the NBA right now, only behind Golden State. But I think it could go either way. It depends on who's going to have home court in that series if they meet in the finals. I think last year, if the Bucks were as healthy as they could have been, they would have won the championship. I think that. But now that the Warriors have grown a year as a collective, as a group, I think they have matured more and become better as a team. So I think it's going to come down to who has the home court advantage. And now, if everybody's healthy, the Nets aren't necessarily fighting for that championship window just yet. Like I said, they got a lot of work to do to get to that championship caliber team. They got to find an offense, and they kind of got some fire in this one with the officiating and everything that was going on. Steve Nash got ejected for the first time as a head coach. He was ejected twice as a player when he was with the Suns and throughout his NBA career. He even earned a handshake from Kevin Durant for how he reacted to the rest, because the Nets felt like they had bad officiating in this game throughout the entire game. When he got a handshake from Kevin Durant, that shows those two are actually coming together. There was a lot of off season and everything that happened in the off season with Kevin Durant asking for the coach to be fired and things like that, asking for the GM to be changed, all those type of things. Them getting together and having that type of moment to where they're handshaking and they're agreeing with each other at a certain point in the game with how they're going at the officials, that helps a lot, because what you need when you don't like each other, what you always need is a common enemy to bring you together. And if they have the common enemy as the refs as of right now, that's what's going to work for them. That's what's going to help them in the long run. Royce O'Neal was great for the Nets in this game, especially in that first half. He knocked down a bunch of three-pointers. Checking his stats, he had 12 points and was 4 from 9 from the three-point land. Kevin Durant had 33 points tonight. Don't want to miss him. And Kyrie Irving had 27 for the Nets. Kyrie Irving didn't shoot as well as he's accustomed to, 9 for 21 in this one. But overall, a great game, because he also had 9 rebounds. It's not something you see often from Kyrie Irving, rebounding the ball. That's an underrated stat for him tonight. Kevin Durant was 10 for 23 for his 33 points. So not necessarily bad shooting night, but one that he could have done a little bit better as well, nonetheless. But I think the Nets are improving. They're improving. They're trying to work out those kinks. As I said, they're getting closer to it. But it's just Giannis Antetokounmpo. It was just the game of him. It was just too much to stop, especially when you're not, you're traveling through the NBA. You don't have a time set to just work on defending the Bucks. Giannis is going to be too much for you. He's going to be too much, especially when he's that aggressive in this game. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I have a podcast called Rip Jersey. Follow that, add it to your playlist. Listen to it wherever you can. Thanks for watching again. Peace.